how we see a single parent as irresponsible. And then here I am, pregnant with a child in the church, a singer to be precise, that sings about Christ, a youth leader. What are you presenting to the youth?
Right, what are you teaching them?
What are you teaching them?
Can you really be a role model?
Exactly.
Chat Over Popcorn starts now.
Welcome back to Chat Over Popcorn, where the conversations run deep. My name is Angela Ansa, your host for the show. Tonight's show is brought to you by Aspire Prosthetics and Orthotics. Tonight, we are continuing our conversation from last week on single motherhood, the struggles they face, the stigma, and how we can create a more compassionate society to understand this unique struggle. And joining me to continue this conversation is Patience Echampong, who is a single mother and a graduate student. Welcome back to the show, Patience.
Thank you for having me again.
So last week we started to get to know you, hear your story, and tonight I am hoping we can dive more into the unique struggles that parents experience and then nail it down to single parents. Every pregnant mother have their struggles. I have 2 kids. I totally understand what that is like. So let's elaborate on your unique struggle as a single parent.
Thank you. Anytime I share the story, I get a little bit emotional because the struggle was not easy. My struggle since beginning of my pregnancy till now, or I would say till birth of my son, I went through this pregnancy all by myself. Nowhere in sight where, this man around. There were times,
no doctor's appointment visit, none of that.
None of that. There were times that I just wanted him to just be there. Just the little things, just, come just to experience the gender reveal of your newborn. And there were nowhere in sight of him. And I experienced that all alone, all by myself. And the joy was just like all by myself, no one to share with, until what really hurt me the most. I went through the delivery process all alone. When I went into labor, I was all by myself. I went into labor 3:30 in the morning.
My gosh.
Nowhere in sight of this person.
So 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. 3 o'clock, 3:30.
You go in labor.
Yes, I remember the date vividly. The time I went into labor, 3:30 in the morning. And as soon as I went into labor, it was not that 15 minutes apart. I was on the phone with my best friend, so she experienced this with me. And this is the time that I was numb to the pain that I was going through.
The physical pain.
The physical pain I was going through, I was numb to it. Tears were just running down my eyes. It took 2 people.
Right.
I didn't make this decision by myself. It took 2 people. So I had yearned for that warmth embrace, like it is going to be, just to whisper in my ears, it's going to be okay. You're going to go through this just fine. I went through all this by myself.
And when you are in labor, the one thing you need is is somebody to just
Angela,
is this moment right here. Somebody to just hold your hand and say, it's going to be okay.
The most painful thing ever. When I was screaming, thank God for wonderful friends that I had and family, and they all lived afar.
Right.
And it wasn't like, and to bring this in, it wasn't like I didn't have people here that would not jump in automatically and come help me. But the fear of, like, where is this person's husband, or where is this person's partner? They might not be wondering about that at the moment, but I was thinking of, if I do call this person to come take me to the hospital, what are they going to say?
Yes, and it goes back to, as a society, right? The stigma we have placed on single motherhood. And I think that's what you are alluding to, is that fear of being judged is what prevented you from even opening up and reaching out to your loved ones, because you are so consumed with this fear of being judged as this irresponsible young lady. And for you to have gone through that, And so let's talk about why you were so consumed with the fear of that judgment. Why was that a big factor for you?
My faith,
Right.
is very, is very
It's
deep.
grounded
Yeah,
in
it's
the-
very grounded,
in
and
the church, yeah.
coming from a very sheltered background as well. I plan my life in such a way that I will not be a burden or try to avoid statistics.
Right.
That is my main goal. And so I try to do things in the right way, and to see myself in this situation, and then presenting myself out there in the church, a singer to be precise, that sings about Christ, a youth leader. What are you presenting to the youth?
Right.
in the
What are you
church?
teaching
What
them?
are you teaching them?
Can you really be a role model?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the stigma. You know what I mean? But thank God that the love of God does not judge us that way. It warms us, it embraces us. No matter the downfalls, no matter the trials and tribulations, whatever it is, we always run back to Him. The saddest thing about it is, at the end of the day, it's not even about judging you that, oh, God is also judging you. But the fear that it will rather affect my health because I'm thinking about what this person is thinking about me.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to
I
say?
totally understand.
So that was where the fear was coming from. But at the end of the day, the process and me being cooped to not sharing what I wanted to share, as in when I was pregnant, was for the health of my son, my unborn son. That was who I was more concerned for, and my health. And so for that, I had to block every person. The people that surrounded me was my family. My family they were very supportive. My best friends, those are the only people I relied on, and they were there every time I needed them.
It's good that you mentioned that
Yes.
you were primarily
Yes.
concerned
Yes.
for the well-being of your unborn son, because stress could have led to
Oh, yeah.
miscarriage.
Oh.
I talked about this at my last episode too, where stress is the foundation of a lot of issues that happen in our lives. And I can imagine when you are pregnant, your hormones are all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And you are going through different
Oh, yeah.
emotions, and not just the physical pain, but
Yes.
that emotional pain,
Yes. Yes,
right?
Angela.
And so the last thing I can imagine you need from outsiders or even people in your circle of friends or support system
Yeah.
is them opining on what a mistake you've
There were actually a point
made.
in time, I remember, I told you I live alone, and there were one point in time, I was in so much pain, like my back. It was getting closer to the time, so it was, I needed. I
Right.
wish I just got the little massage. My
Yeah.
body pains. There was one point I was just laying on a couch, and I just wanted to get up and get a glass of water. And at that time, I had wished, like, man, I wish this person was here to just to tell him to give me a glass of water, And there were times I would go for grocery shopping, and I would need help. I wanted help to bring up my water up. The one point I fell. I fell on,
While you were pregnant?
Yes, and I always thank God. God knew my struggles. God knew that, you know what? He needs to put me through this
Right.
to make me the person that I am today. And I fell, and you know what? God being so good, I'm still here. Nothing happened. So these are the little moments. To someone, this might be like, this is nothing.
Right.
I mean, it happens, but to experience it and to go through it alone. I mean, there are many women that have been pregnant, but if I tell you that the struggles is not easy alone, it is not easy.
Right.
I remember when I was in labor, I had a midwife. So the midwife asked, oh, when is the father coming? And so I had made something up. Oh, he'll be here in the next 2 hours or so. And here I am.
2 hours later.
2 hours later. Okay. And I'm like, oh, he'll be here in the next 3 hours. So she came in and made a joke like, wow, is he coming from Africa?
Right.
Is he coming from Africa? So I just
Right.
like, you know what, he's not coming. And this is me. I was going through the pain, and I was so much in pain that anytime I scream, and I didn't even go through the pregnancy classes, like, how to manage your pain and all that. No, never, because I'm going there alone.
Right.
I'm going there alone. And anytime I scream, I would grab onto her arms. And because she gave me her arms to grab onto, so I would grab onto her arms and then squeeze it so hard just to calm my pain down. I remember after oh God, anytime I talk about this, I get so emotional because
we can take a break. We can totally take a break and come back to it.
So emotional.
Obviously, this is a very emotional topic we are discussing, and this is part of the reason why we need to create a more compassionate society and empathize with the concerned parties, because these are issues that affect our wellness and it affects our mental health and our well-being.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
I totally get it.
The most painful thing ever to know that you have people that I know that if I pick up my phone, I call anyone, and I thank God for this platform because nobody knows.
Right.
People will just sit there and say whatever they want.
And that's why your story is going to help all of us create a more compassionate society.
Even when you try to talk about it, people will just believe what they want to believe and listen to what they want to listen and whatever, and jump to conclusion of what they want to jump conclusion to. But it gets me because I know what
you went through,
what I went through alone, and knowing that I have people that I can, even Mex is here. Every person that was close to me and later on found out that I'm pregnant and realized, man, you didn't tell me.
Right.
You know, I know. Trust me. If I had gathered people to come support me in anything that I do,
you get people.
I'll get people. And this is not how I wanted my life to be.
So you mentioned responsible.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. In our society, when a guy is a single father, he's a hero. He's glorified.
Oh, yeah.
He's praised. He's responsible. He's respected. But when the table turns, talk about double standard.
Yeah.
When the woman is a single mother, they are brutalized, they are judged, they are trashed, they are irresponsible. They are all of these things that we as a society define them as.
I think that we have normalized something about when the man is not in the picture, the women always jump in it and take the role as being a father and a mother or everything in general. So when you see something being done over and over and over and over, it becomes normalized.
Right.
You get what I mean? Because it's most of the time, I'm not saying some mothers don't run away from their kids. It's there.
Right.
But it's more. The fathers are more absent compared to the mothers.
Right.
So the mothers always jump into it and embrace it and take it upon themselves and deal with it. So something that is being seen all the time as women doing it, it's normalized in the society. We don't see the men doing it. So when they take upon that that mantle, it becomes, wow, that is amazing. It doesn't happen often.
Right.
So whoa, this is just wonderful. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's about time this roles needs to be shared.
As a woman, you are created.
Yes.
To be a nurturer.
Yes.
To take care, to bear children, raise the child, take care of the well-being, and fathers are not wired that way.
They're not.
And so when a father step up and say, I'm going to have full custody with this child and I'm going to raise that child, it is glorified.
Yeah, it is.
And it's about hard time as a society, we break that cycle and we change the narrative.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, the women have different energy level and emotional tank that we should be glorifying these women out there, especially if you are not only just a single mother, but you are a career woman as well. So you are juggling career and parenting at the same time.
I have a friend who will call me, one of my best friends. The first thing she would say is, I am so proud of you. You are doing a good job. You know how that makes me feel?
Words of affirmation.
Oh my gosh. It makes me feel so great. Because even she doesn't have a child, but she knows how not easy that is.
Right. I think on the last episode, you were talking about how you wish the baby father was there to help juggle with pick up and drop off of your child. Right? So if you don't have that and you have to be at your job place by 8 o'clock, it can affect how you even go up the career ladder. It can affect your finances, right?
Oh, yeah.
It costs about $233,000 to raise a child from the age of 0 to 18 years. That's about $13,000 per year. So single motherhood, the reason why I am particularly interested in wanting to talk about it on this platform is single motherhood affects all the dimensions of wellness, every single one of them. Spirituality, social, environment, all of these things, it affects it. So it is key. It is a big public health problem.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would agree 100%. It does. Because if you're not healthy, how can you give out to your community, to your society, whether it's church, whether it's work, whether it's your family, whether it's the external part of, things. So it does. Because what if you have a leadership role in the church or a leadership role at work and you're not healthy, you're not sound-minded? How can you lead this people into a safety place,
Right.
So it does affect you, and it is a public health concern, because if you have a role to play in the church, in the family as a whole, or at work, and you're not there
Mentally,
and you're being assigned to a task and you miss that, imagine the impact that would come upon, whether it's the church, whether it's your job, and that transcends and goes on further and further. Because if you affect one person, mind you, affecting the next person that comes after, the next person that comes after. So it is a very big public health concern. And I thank you for also emphasizing on it, that we are not here to encourage single motherhood.
Right. No, that's not the point of this conversation.
And if you're leading a lifestyle that that this is going to lead me to this part, and if you're not ready to bring a child to this world, please do not. Don't.
Because again, our focus is to bring attention on how these little issues that affect our well-being are oftentimes overlooked. And then we will talk a little more deeper into how it affects your social life as well.
Thank you for watching this episode. To continue with the conversation, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell or notification button to be notified every time new videos get uploaded. Also, click thumbs up to like the video and follow our Instagram and Facebook pages to catch up on all the conversations.